Okay, everyone. My session is titled, How DevRel should proceed with the breaking change project. Today, I'd like to talk about this topic and as well as my experience. So let me first introduce myself. My name is Takeshi Osanai, but everyone calls me Nick. So please feel free to call me Nick. Okay. So I was the division director of the web solution company, and I became a product manager and a developer relation manager of Movable Type, a blogging software created in the United States. Everyone know Movable Type? No? Okay, no problem. Okay, after the 6 apart, I joined to the Free, a unicorn company in Japan, and I was in charge of DevRel and developer success. After that, I joined the CRE, customer reliability engineer at the company called FLUX. So now I'm working for FLUX. And my mission is connecting technology and the people. Sometimes as a product manager, sometimes as a sales engineer, and sometimes as a developer liaison. I have been in charge of various roles, but the core of my life mission is connecting technology and people. So much for self-introductions. Let's get down to the business. Let's say that you are DevRel for a SaaS company, and the service you are in charge of has decided to implement a disruptive API specification change. So your mission is to communicate with developers and get them to modify a huge number of systems and applications. So here's an explanation on breaking change. Do you have a breaking change? You know about breaking change? Okay, so anyway, I will explain that. A breaking change is a major specification change that does not involve backward compatibility. Breaking change often causes external systems and applications to stop working and requires third parties to modify their systems. It is a distressing moment for both the vendor and the third party. So breaking change is a big event that can break the third-party ecosystem as well. If you are a DevRel person, how would you respond? Have you ever experienced such an event moment before? Have you? No? Don't worry. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I will now tell you how you should respond. Here's a real case I worked on. In December 2020, we had to make a breaking change to our REST API. It was a major spec change affecting over 38 points. I had to notify thousands and thousands of third-party developers and have them respond. It was a tremendous amount of work, a huge project. When I was assigned to the breaking change project, I proceeded in the following order. First, I confirmed what will occur on our REST API. Next, I estimate the impact of the breaking changes based on the log data. Based on the estimate of the impact, the team, including me, estimated the time frame requiring to communicate. Based on the estimated time frame, I created a communication plan. Based on the communication plan I created, I coordinated with the stakeholders. Once the coordination was completed, I started the communication. First, confirm and understand what the breaking change would be. Have a conversation with the engineering team to sort out what the changes will be, how many changes will occur, and what types of changes they are. You can't start a project without understanding what the breaking changes will be. As a developer relation person, Make sure you understand and sort out the changes. Next, based on the breaking changes, examine the range of the impact. From the huge amount of log data, they will research the systems, applications, and the companies that are using the specification being changed. I actually wrote SQL and worked with the data analysis team to find out the scope of the impact. And it is important to create a contact list based on the user information. Even if you can't get detailed log data, it's very important to know how many applications are using the service and the overall volume. Out of this, you should start with data. Get data on your sphere of influence. After examining the range of the impact of the breaking changes, you should estimate the schedule. When to disclose the release notes of the change? How long is the grace period? After the breaking changes, should you keep old specification? How long can developers use it? Estimate the schedule that allows enough time for developers to know, understand, and respond to the changes of specifications. This slide is a sample based on my actual schedule. For the project I worked on, I set 6 months response time for developers. During the 6 months, we made an effort to communicate the changes and how they should be handled. Next is a communication plan. Even if you publish documentation breaking changes, you cannot be sure that the developers will notice or not. If no effort is made to communicate, important information may not be delivered, and the third-party systems and applications may become unusable. For this reason, you should plan how to communicate. This slide shows the communication plan I actually created. Notification via email, social networking sites, etc., as well as detailed document publication is a minimum requirement. In addition to that, I asked the sales team to approach the companies with which they have a relationship. For systems and applications that had a large number of API usage, we contact them individually via email. We then find the survey metrics with the analyst team to check whether the information had reached to developers or not. Once you create the schedule and the communication plan, it is time to communicate with stakeholders both inside and outside. What is the breaking change? What are the impacts? And how will developers respond? Sales and marketing team may not understand the technical information in detail. So we need to be patient, very patient, and make them easy to understand with these people. We explain to them patiently and clearly why we are changing the specifications, what will happen to the REST API, and how we want to work. This is where communication is necessary. In order to communicate, you need passion and conviction. We will continue to communicate based on our passion and based as a developer relation person. Once again, passion and conviction is key. Here, I'd like to share an advice to you all. Communicate and get people involved widely. The important thing is to deliver the information to the people who need it. As I have mentioned before, only publishing release notes is not enough to deliver the information to the people who need it. It is essential to get your team and all those involved stakeholders within your organization to understand and cooperation. If you explain it properly and get them to understand the need for breaking change, I'm sure they all will be willing to work with you. If you explain it properly and get them to understand, it is very important as a developer relation partner. Your passion and conviction will get everyone to cooperate. I'm sure you're all wondering what I have explained so far. You may be wondering, I know how to do this. So does this method work? Yes, here is how this project turned out. This graph showed the number of endpoints in use that are affected by the breaking changes. I published the release notes May 2020. In June, we had a communication after communication with various internal stakeholders. From July onward, we made announcement campaign and message. In August, we saw a dramatic decrease in the number of usage of the endpoint. Then in December, we contacted the application developers who is still using the application for the last time and asked them to modify. Yes, result was a resounding success. The breaking changes were made successfully and there were no complaints at all. Really, there were no complaints. We have successfully implemented the breaking change to our REST API. So after that project, I shouted loud, I did it. Yes. I learned an important lesson from this project. That is that perfect communication is not possible. As I have said many times before, simply publishing the release note is not enough to communicate. So developers need more information and more routes to deliver the information. What is important is to work through how to get information out there, make a concrete plan, and involve others in the execution. The power of a single developer person is limited, but by working together as a team, the power can be multiplied many times over. Wrap up. So as I mentioned in the previous page, if you are responsible for the breaking change, there are 6 flows you should do. Confirm the changes. Estimate the impact of the breaking change. Estimate the schedule for the communication. Create a communication plan. Coordinate with the stakeholders. Then start to communicate. Communicate the facts and what will going to happen to the stakeholders, and internally and externally, so they could understand and cooperate you. So last, here are some links to my social networking and these slides. So please send me a request and let's get in touch and exchange our opinion. Thank you very much.